All as well. Colin here from Practice Nav, jumping on with another couple of tips this week in relation to hiring. So this month we've focused on hiring people and the importance of getting the right candidate. So talking about our latest blog, it's learning from the mistakes that I've made over the years hiring people in healthcare. And I suppose the first one that I look back and think about when I was hiring people earlier on in my career is I would have rushed into the hire. So expanding too soon, too quickly. When I was in Australia, I opened up a second clinic. And I wasn't set up to facilitate that second clinic, so I rushed a hire, and that hire ended up being taking up the guts of maybe 2 days a week, and that's no exaggeration, because they weren't the right fit. Everything was wrong. They required a lot of training, and it took me then, looking back, about 6 months to correct that. So make sure before you look to hire that you have capacity to hire, in the fact that you have time to input into the person that you're going to hire and that you have available work for them. Otherwise it's going to fall flat on its face. So the top tips that we look into is, the first one is don't rush. And what I mean by don't rush is, as I said in my original story, I opened up the clinic. I was looking to go too quick too soon, and I maybe got one or two applications for the job in the first week or two, and I started hiring from that. Looking back now, what we generally do is we take our time, so we'll leave a job advert up for maybe 6 to 8 weeks before we start looking and going, right, out of this 6 to 8 week block, who is the best candidate for the job, and we'll start to whittle them down that way. So it does take time and it takes planning. If you are looking for someone to work in your business in the next 6 months and you don't think you have the work for them now, but in 6 months' time you do, I would start advertising for that person today. Give yourself as much lead in time as possible, and that will allow candidates to see your post, go through your hiring process, and find the right candidate. Otherwise, it's just a rush job and it's going to end in tears. The next one is similar to that one, is just be patient. You think, oh, but I need someone now. I've got all these clients. I'm rushing. If you are not patient and you just go, right, I need someone now, but there's no available candidates out there, Colin, it's easy to say don't rush. But if there's no one applying for the job, I can't get that person now. I need them now. If you hire someone and it's a rush job, you are hiring a headache. That is the worst thing you can do in your business, because that person is going to drain your time and they're going to burst your brain over the next 6 to 12 months before you eventually say, hey, this isn't working out, let's part our ways. I'm telling you now, don't rush. Be patient. Be patient in your build up. If you're not getting clients, or if you're not getting candidates applying for your job, it may be the fact that your job may need to be rewritten. It's not posted in the correct platforms. Have a look at where you're posting it. What language are you using in it? Are you attractive as an employer? So look at all those things and don't just say, I posted a job, after 2 weeks, there's no one applying, it's not worth it. You need to be patient, and again, planning for about 6 months out if you can. Next one then is a really, really obvious one, but I am amazed with the amount of people I talk to in this industry when I say to them, they ask me, oh, I'm having problems with this candidate, they're X, Y, and Z, what do you think should do? And I go, well, when you hired them, did you check their references? I'm amazed at the amount of people that don't check references. They just go, oh yeah, they've done a really good interview, their CV looks good, they can do X, Y, and Z, they said they're good, they said they're willing to stay for 1 to 2 years, great, I'm just going to hire them. Check the references. Can't emphasize it enough. Really, really important step in the hiring process. And then plan for the long term. So if you are looking at a candidate who can potentially see, a reasonable caseload, and I'm talking reasonable, it's not a heavy caseload here, maybe 8 patients a day, which is doable by anyone's standards. And let's say you had, to keep the maths really simple, you had 8 patients a day, so we'd 40 clients a week, maybe a little bit more. Let's say we had 42 and we're averaging 42 at €60 a pop. That's 2.5 grand over the course of a 46 week work calendar throughout the year. You're looking at over 100 grand there. So at 8 patients a day at 40 hours a week, over 46 weeks. The reason I'm going 46 weeks is because 10 public holidays, 4 weeks of holidays. That's coming in at over 100 grand. That's going to be worth 50 grand to your business if you get it right. The costs of business are going up massive, so you need to ensure that you're hiring the right person and able to facilitate and maintain a sustained competitive advantage in your business in order to make sure it keeps going. Because if you hire the wrong person and they're not bringing that competitive advantage to your business, then it's going to fall flat in your face, and again you're going to hire a headache. So look at who you're hiring, because it is a long-term plan when you're hiring them, and the costs associated with that and the benefits you're going to get from it, you need to have those like on point all the time. You need to know exactly what you're hiring for. Okay, and then affordability. So again, this one, it drives me mental, this. So I'll talk to people who are working in their business and they're working their ass off. They're working really, really hard. They're working maybe 50 hours a week, and they're paying their staff, and they might be paying their staff maybe 35, 40 grand a year. So they're paying their staff maybe 3,500, 4,000 roughly, let's say 3,500 a month, right? And I'll say to them, okay, what are you paying yourself? Oh, I'm taking the money out of the business when I can. So they're not paying themselves any competitive wage at all. They might be taking 400 euros out a week or something like that. And you're like going, how are you affording staff, and why is it this way around? If you're in business and you're not paying yourself a wage, it's just a hobby, and a very expensive hobby at that. So you need to review what you're doing as regards your financial structure in order to first make sure you're able to pay yourself first in business. If you're not able to pay yourself first in business, again, it's an expensive hobby. So making sure you're able to pay yourself first before you look at hiring other people. I hope those points all make sense. If you have any questions, give me an email, colin@practicenav.ie. Happy to have a chat, and we can go from there. Take care. Have a great week. Cheers.